Hey, what's up? This is Queen Muhammad. I'm the CEO and founder of maddpop Records. I'm also the host of the Godmother Podcast, which you are now listening to. Going into 2022, I wanted to talk about race. As you see on our documentary, Surviving Stephen Kotowich, him or someone very close to him has been harassing the line, calling in the Godmother Podcast line and leaving a whole bunch of racist messages. And I know that probably shocked a lot of people who do not understand or do not did not understand where that was coming from. Okay? So it's coming from a temperature in this country that gives people liberties to think that they are better than someone else. And it's not only just those people who think that way. It's a system that facilitates that way of thinking. So what do we do as Black people? What do we do as a nation? That's what we need to now focus on. This is 2022. As we, Rich Long, he's a comedian and he definitely touches on a lot of topics that may be a little bit uncomfortable for some. But he jokes around and he says that the 400 years is up. Now, of course, that's him in a joking way. But a lot of Black people are just at their wits' end with a lot of things. And we have to think about the next generation. That's what I'm doing it for. I'm an older lady, and I don't have any small kids. So, rightfully so, I raised mine. I could be like most and go bury my head into the sand and let the younger people deal with it. But it's a lot of us that are still fighting the good fight, still using our voices, even though we may have grown kids ourselves. We still have generations to look after. A lot of these younger kids, they may not even know what's going on or why things are happening the way it is. And I think that's why a lot of depression and mental health issues are happening a lot lately. Or people just wanting to zone out of this matrix of a hierarchy that may not favor them as they are. We have children, we have grandchildren, we have just neighbors, friends, cousins, nieces and nephews, extended family, play cousins, so it's not all about just protecting your own. It's protecting the whole. You want it to be something worthy to stand on. when when the future generations are coming up. So you have to think about that, guys. You have to think about, how are we going to tackle this? Please jump down in the comments. If you are watching this on another platform, you can go to the comment section on YouTube on the Godmother Podcast channel, and let me know your thoughts. Let me know if this is something that you want to go deeper into. You cannot say, well, I know I cannot say that I have dealt with it. I've dealt with racist situations, and I cannot understand, and I still don't understand how someone's skin tone can prompt them to just be abused. It's very sad, it's very disheartening, but this is the temperature of this country right now. Now, it's not all. I don't even think that it's most. But silence is violence as well. Turning a blind eye. Not holding people accountable. You can't bury your head underneath a system, and then when the system doesn't do what you want it to do, or how you feel is right, to say, oh, that's a bad system, and then every other time you're just hiding your head in the sand when it's beneficial. That dynamic is something that we definitely have to work on in the near future, in the future.
American dream. What is it? How do we get here? And how do we wake up? Hallucinating, got me illuminating. Wanna hear it goes. This tale is fascinating. Came here in 93. At 4 I moved to Queens. Parents divorced at 13. I'll be out on my own, trying to find a way to keep my dream alive. All I wanna do is sing, act and dance until I close my eyes. Got me illuminated. Wanna hear it goes. This tale.
My mother, growing up in Virginia, of course, she dealt with a lot of racism and stuff like that, and being on a darker side herself, of course, dealt with it. Myself, growing up in Philadelphia, I dealt with it as well. In the 80s, a lot of the neighbors, when I first moved to West Philadelphia, the Overbrook section, as you see from Wilt Chamberlain, who actually went to Overbrook High School as well. Of course, you know Will Smith, but if you go back to, like, if you Google Wilt Chamberlain Overbrook High School, you'll be able to see that most of his classmates were white. And so if you already know what the neighborhood looked like, it was mostly white. So when I grew up in Philadelphia, the Overbrook section, it was mostly white. But now it's all black, majority. I haven't been around to Overbrook to see if it's still like that, because I know a lot of these areas they're now coming back and claiming those areas and gentrifying them, where we can't even afford to live in them anymore. So I remember my mom and I, when I was a kid, we would ride through the neighborhood in Overbrook and just count how many for sale signs would be on the houses on a block. And that's how a neighborhood turns from white to black. I witnessed it happening. And of course, I'm young, I'm a kid, and my mother's talking about this and we're laughing about it. We didn't know the long-term effects, and my mother's no longer here. But at the time, we didn't know the long-term effects of what that would entail. For people to just be moving out just because black people are moving in. That's what happened. And you can see a neighborhood turn from white to black. And that was very just, now that it's 30, 40 years later, and we can see the implements of that. We can see how a neighborhood can turn. And then I was just watching something on the African Diaspora Network about the move bombing. That, and just, I was a kid and I was in Philadelphia as well. I was like around 5 years old, and that was, oh my gosh, just heart-wrenching. And even I was a kid then, I didn't know the implements and of that as well. I didn't know. I didn't have, you know what I'm saying? Like I was a kid myself. But if you go over to, I think it came out like in May or middle of 2021, that episode, the host talking about it. I'm not familiar with his name, but I love watching him. But I watched that, and just to know how frivolously things are done. And I remember that. I remember Wilson Goode being the mayor. I remember all of that. And everybody would ask, what you gonna do, Wilson Goode? And that was just like a big running joke. But 60 plus homes were destroyed. All because of what, actually? It's just, no matter what excuse that people gave, that was unacceptable. And then to still have their, family members' remains in the university, it's just, we have to start opening our eyes to what's really going on, and continuing to use our voices, and to say that we don't want our future to look like our past. And that's the main thing. We don't want our future to look like our past. We're going to be diving on deep topics, as you see here. If you have a story, I know we've all, if you are foundational Black American, or just a person of color, a Black person, do you have a story of where your race was used against you in some way? What's the answer? I see a lot of people, they're going and they're dating different races. Is that's the answer? Like Cynthia G says. I mean, I don't know if she's saying it specifically because of that, but is that the answer? Do you whitewash out your race to become acceptable? I mean, we say that we're black and we're proud and we're happy about it. What are the answers? I don't think I'm coming down on biracial people, or because everybody know, I am part of a multiracial family. You can see my grandmother. You can see it in my skin and everything that I am part Indian. So I fully understand that, but so definitely native to this land. I would love to have a conversation, just like I extended a arm of a resolution to even police officers, to come on this program. I'm extending that same invitation to either, it could even be Mr. Cotterwich at this point in time, just to have a resolution, just to have some type of conversation. Because this is the platform for it. This is where we're going to be having tough love conversations about real life situations. And there's nothing more realer than race. Thank you guys. Make sure that you go shop our show sponsors. I personally picked out every sponsor on that list for you. You'll love it. If you love rare Marvel and vintage apparel, clothes, like myself, then go to that link, Shop with Queen, on Linktree. Every sponsor that you support through that link directly supports the show. So it keeps the lights on and the doors open. So we greatly appreciate it. You can also Cash App maddpop, MADDPOP, and you will see our infamous black and gold logo. And that way, everything, if you put for Godmother Podcast, because we do use that Cash App link for a lot, but you can, if you put in specifically what you want the money to go to, we will get it to where, our where it has to go. If you would like to support the show, just put for Godmother Podcast, and that's Cash App maddpop. You can also schedule a one-on-one call with me, 1-800-743-1179. We can talk about some things. We can talk about race. We can talk about show topics, Rich Long, music. You can, we can just vent. But that I am making myself available for one-on-ones. You can also go over to www.maddpop.com/CEO Connect and book it right on that website. Also, we have NFTs out. If you would like to purchase one of the NFTs, go over to www.voice.com/maddpop. You can go stream all of Rich Long's music, also myself, Queen Muhammad, featuring Robert Curry. Unbelievable is out right now and doing very well. All right. Race 2022. It does not seem like it is taking a turn for the positive. It's actually looking like it's kicking up stronger than ever. in our lifetimes. So we got to really not turn a blind eye to this. And it's not playing the blame game either, and not on this platform. We're all about resolutions and resolve. We know it's an issue, but I guarantee you things change through conversation. A lot of things are misunderstood. And I think that the loudest negative voices always get heard. And I think that that fuels a lot of back and forth where the people who are talking rational and looking for real solutions, they get drowned out to the background. So this platform, like I said, guys, we're going to deep dive into a lot of serious topics. I'm glad you continue to rock with this programming. We are now on Roku TV, Fire TV, Chromecast, and Apple TV. So kudos to us for expanding this show. Make sure that you continue to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you comment. Let me know. I want to know, do you have a story about a situation concerning you and your race being a factor for something negative in your life? I mean, even as recent as last month, not even just last year, last month, dealing with crazy racist people calling in the line, calling me the N-word. You witnessed it. And still I push forward. I still love myself. I love my black skin, my indigenous melanated beauty. And I want the younger generations to feel the same. And that's by giving them solid black excellence representation. And that's what we try to do right here at maddpop Records. I'm still trying to hang in there, guys, and I'm happy that you guys are continuing to be here for the journey. Okay? Justice for Rich Long. This is episode 3 of the Godmother Podcast. I'm out. Until next time.